I have to remember to look at the camera, not the viewfinder. Anyways. Hey, hello, hi, howdy. My name is Ellie. I'm a cartoonist and illustrator currently based out of Chicago. It is a lovely, gloomy, rainy day in Chicago. I'm originally from Washington State, so this weather makes my heart very happy. Um, and I just wanted to sit and chat today about some things to do with art school. I graduated with a BFA from the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, focusing in comics and print media in May of 2024. So we're coming up on a year post-grad, which is pretty crazy. So I just wanted to sit down with my little coffee in my face mug made by my dear, lovely older ceramicist brother. He's great. His work is great. But I just wanted to sit down and have a rambly little chat over some nice B-roll of me drawing a comic that I'm working on that I'm really excited, um, and talk about kind of the year since I graduated art school. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's jump right in. A little bit about me and my background. So as I said, I'm from Washington originally. I moved out to Chicago to go to school in 2020. I'm currently 22 years old, big scary 22-year-old. And I started drawing seriously around when I was 14 and knew I wanted to go to art school when I was 16. And when I first started drawing, you couldn't keep a pencil out of my hand. You couldn't keep me from drawing. I had my sketchbook with me everywhere. I was drawing in every class. I would go home and I would draw for hours. I would paint for hours. I only did watercolor and stuff at the beginning. Maybe I'll flash some really early drawings of mine up here. Was I the best in the universe? No, but I had a fiery passion in my soul that I just needed to draw, and I was making these characters, I was making my OCs, all these worlds. I was getting really into it, and originally I thought that I was going to be a director for animation. That was my original desire. Then be an animator was a thought, and then I realized I didn't want to do that. I didn't like it. I kind of ran through all of those career goals and aspirations until I did a summer pre-college program at Cornish College of Art and Design in Seattle, and I took a comics course with Ellen Forney. She really changed my life, rocked my world, introduced me to comics as a thing I could do. I had been reading web comics like Heartstopper and oh my god, what was the name of it? What was the name of it? It was a 50s Grease themed gay trans web comic. I can't remember. If I can find the name of it, I'll put it up. But I had been reading comics a lot, but never really thought of them as a thing that I could do until I took that class. And then from then on, I was pretty thrilled about comics, but originally I went to school for graphic design. That was my intention. So I took the first 2 years of school doing mostly graphic design with some print and comics in the background, and I love graphic design. I really do. I think it's great. I adore it. I like the rules. I like all of that. I think the graphic design classes I took were some of the most valuable, tangibly valuable classes I took in my time in art school, but I wasn't having as much fun in them, and I felt like I wasn't gaining as many useful connections with professors, and I wasn't really gaining as many useful connections with my peers in those classes as I was in my printmaking classes and my comics classes. So at the end of my sophomore year, I decided to stop VisCom altogether and go balls to the wall, per se, for comics and print. And that is a decision I contend with every day. I want to be very blunt about this. I don't want anything I say in this video to really heavily sway anyone for or against going to art school. I don't think that that's something that I, as a stranger on the internet, should have a say in for you. You can hear what I'm saying and absorb it, think about it, but I think that the decision whether or not to go to art school and whether or not that's going to be beneficial for you has so many different little factors involved. And so there's so many variables for whether or not you're going to have a good experience in art school, and a lot of that comes down to money and comes down to like support from the family. And some people just don't need it. Some people don't need the professional development from art school. Some people really like come out of the gate and they have the connections and they're ready to go. For me, art school felt like the right path, and I don't really regret my decision to go to art school, but I have complicated feelings about it, which we will get into. But all of that being said, um, in my sophomore year, I decided to switch and focus more on comics and things that I was really passionate about and felt like I couldn't learn really on my own with the same amount of like access to professors and access to knowledge. And I love my work, and I'm really happy with my work now, and I am really happy with the work that I was making toward the end of my degree. But in my last year of art school, I got like horrifically burnt out. I was working 2 on-campus jobs as a TA and as the comics editor for the school paper during my last semester, and I was doing my capstone, which is like our version of a thesis at SAIC. So I was working on a 36-page comic in the span of a 15-week semester, which is just like kind of ridiculous. And by the end of it, I just got like so tremendously burnt out. And then I graduated, and within a few weeks immediately got a day job working retail, which I still have right now. It's a great job. They treat me very well. I really have no complaints about it. But I was not one of those people that immediately got a full-time paying job in my career out of art school. Very few people do. I'm going to be like really upfront about that. Very few people that I know, unless they really stuck with like the VisCom path, the graphic design path, and dedicated their time to that, very few people I know actually got a job in their field immediately out of school. So I've been taking commissions here and there, selling my work online here and there, tabling at fairs. I got ridiculously burnt out come fall after I graduated. I was not making anything. I really was just kind of floundering, flopping around. Like, I wasn't having fun drawing anything. I wasn't writing anymore. I felt like I wasn't happy with anything that I was drawing or anything that I was making. And it like broke my heart. It was really devastating, having gone from making in a really dedicated environment every day, and prior to that being unable to put down a pencil, like drawing compulsively, to not drawing at all and not making anything and just working my day job. It was really soul crushing. Is kind of the easiest way to say it. It was really challenging. But I was burnt out. I had no gas in the tank. I was running on like less than empty. I was like burning fumes. It felt like pulling teeth trying to get myself to draw anything. So after a while, I kind of just gave into it. And I said, okay, body, I hear you. I see you. You're not wanting to be productive and creative right now. That is okay. I was like, looking at myself and going, you're in need of rest. So rest a little. And I stopped putting as much pressure on myself to draw and to make things, and especially to draw quality things. And I think that really changed everything for me. Taking the pressure of drawing things of quality away. Because drawing something is better than drawing nothing. Making something is better than making nothing, because at least then you're flexing the muscles. One of the more negative aspects of art school was that, at least for me, I felt the pressure to really be making at a really high volume and a really high quality. So quality and quantity at the same time, which worked when I was literally the only thing I was doing. Okay. We're back. We're back on the floor. Ignore my little red nose. We're back. Where was I? Oh, yes. Producing at a really high quality and quantity all the time, and with a lot of speed, um, which I think was really beneficial for me in like learning how to work as a commercial artist, and to like work in commercial illustration. Like my job at the school paper really like busted my balls in that way of like producing a really high quantity of work at a high quality consistently. And I'm very grateful for having learned that skill. But by the time I was like six to 8 months out of art school, I felt like a complete failure because I was like, I haven't made anything. I don't have a new zine. I don't have a new comic out. I don't have a new anything out in this time. And I hadn't gone more than 6 months without producing something new in my entire time in art school, because that's just like the nature of the thing. That's the nature of the beast. And what's worse is that my thesis was chapter 1 of a 3-chapter thing. I don't have chapter 2 out yet. And I had to put that project down for a while because I was burnt out, and I really love and care about that project, and a lot of people responded really well to it and seemed really excited about chapter 2, and so I felt like I was letting other people down. And I know that I'm not alone in having experienced this post art school. I know I'm definitely not alone in it. I know a lot of other people who've experienced similar things in their post art school lives. But something this past winter, this past chilly Chicago winter, really changed for me. And I think that was taking a lot of the pressure off of myself to make things that look good, which sounds really silly. But I found what I really missed the most was the feeling of putting a pencil on paper and drawing and pulling a line and making something. I just missed the feeling of it. So when I kind of stripped back the anatomical correctness a little bit and started drawing more expressively, I started focusing on drawing really quickly and focusing on like just having fun and pulling shapes that feel fun and pulling lines that feel fun and drawing quickly just to get it out, to get some expression of myself out. That's when it really changed. And now I'm feeling much more creatively juiced because I've kind of found and relearned how to sketch for myself. And I'm not creating at the volume that I was when I was in school, because I have a day job and I don't have that much time on my hands to just freely make work, especially being someone who's a writer and who writes fiction a lot of the time. I can't write anything if I am not living a life, if I'm not like living and enjoying my life. This comic that you're watching me draw on was kind of an exercise in just making things and in this kind of like just drawing quickly and intuitively attitude that I'm coming at my work with right now, where I just said I'm really tired of coming up with interesting panel layouts, and I've never done a comic that is in like an even grid, and so I'm just gonna make 8 grid pages of 6 panels each and fill the panels as I go with no thumbnailing in the middle, no real plan, no rhyme or reason, and I'm just gonna make an 8-page mini. And there's gonna be no dialogue, it's only gonna be vibes. And so I really like set boundaries for myself in which to play. And I think that was another thing I was kind of missing in my post art school creative life, was like imposed boundaries. Something I like really learned at school was that like boundaries are necessary to the creative process, at least for me. I need some kind of rules that I'm attacking the blank page with, or else I'm just gonna make things that I'm not too pleased with. I need some kind of structure, some kind of parameters. So having this kind of like, okay, I'm only gonna do 6 panel grids for 8 pages, and that's it. It was really liberating, and I'm having a ton of fun working on this comic, and I'm having a ton of fun playing with composition within my perfect little rectangles, and I'm having so much fun playing. with it again. And I won't say that I'm completely out of my burnout. I think that's going to take a long time. And to be honest, I don't know if I'll ever really return to producing with the same fervor that I did when I was a teenager, because I had a lot more free time and like didn't have to worry about paying bills and things. I'm on the upswing, I think, post grad. I'm kind of finding my footing again, and I'm looking forward to making for the first time in a while, which is really exciting. I'm making in my free time. I'm coming home from work and I'm drawing, and it feels great, and I feel so liberated. Yeah, I feel excited to explore again about this little YouTube endeavor. About this little YouTube endeavor, I'm hoping it can kind of be a little accountability diary of my process of making work, because I really love making long form work, which is really hard to maintain momentum on. So I'm really excited to share more of my process as far as like how I write comics and how I go about penciling and inking, and how I do all of the nitty-gritty things, and like how to lay out a zine, and like kind of sharing the knowledge that I gained in my 4 years of art school um, here with you. And I'm really excited about it. And I'm hoping that some of you find what I have to say interesting and will stick around. Um, because I think this YouTube thing could be really fun for me. And I'm just here to have fun. And the second it stops being fun, I will quit. And that's the promise I'm making to myself right here, right now, before you, before God, before the rain outside. The second this stops being fun, I'm out. So let's hope it stays fun for a bit. I got a little phone tripod, so I'm invested. I'm invested in a phone tripod. Um, I gotta run. I gotta go buy new jeans because I need new jeans, and I gotta go to the store and clean my house, and like do adult things, and probably draw a little more because that's really fun. Draw something quickly and poorly today. That's my challenge to you. Just put pen to paper and see what comes out and ride with it and try and be as uncritical of it as possible. Let your body make what your body wants to make and accept that, because that's really the way you're going to keep yourself motivated in the long run, is to just accept where your body wants to go and how your body wants to make art happen for you. So, I hope you have a wonderful day. Um, if it's raining where you're at, I hope you make yourself a nice cup of coffee and chill and stare at the rain for a while. And yeah, have a lovely, lovely day.